Bob Maloney from MyMMAnews.com, and coming up on March 3rd, I will be in Atlantic City, cage side, with Raging Al Iaquinta, UFC veteran, on the call for Louis Neglia and Dead Serious Promotions at Ring of Combat 79. And I am thrilled to be talking to, not just somebody who's fighting on the card, but a very special person, someone who, has fought through such adversity to get here. The Korbulizer, Russ Korbul. Russ, 2-0 professional welterweight with 2 finishes. Very impressive start to his career. First, Russ, before we begin to all that, man, happy to talk to you. Thanks for giving me some time. I hope your body and your mind is feeling good. How's it going, brother?
Not much. I actually had a pretty good workout today with Justin, like just before I started talking to you. So I would say I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, listen, Russ, you are in a position where, a lot of people didn't think you would be. Russ, for those who don't know, Russ has Asperger's syndrome, which is along the autistic spectrum. And I'm sure that, talk to me about your battle with that, Russ, because like I said, you have had to be doubted, for a lot of your career. And a lot of people probably didn't think you would be here. You're fighting at a major promotion, you're shining. And talk to me a little bit about some of that adversity that you've had to fight through.
Oh, I've had to deal with adversity basically like that my whole life. Cause growing up as a kid, I think, especially back then, I'm 34, back then, nobody really knew what this type of thing really was, it was kind of like, oh, maybe get with the program, and it's like, of course, you deal with problems in school, but I never gave up, and I always had good, my parents were always supportive. I had, good teachers who helped me get through it and stuff, and then I was always told, oh, you'll never get through college and stuff, but I did, and, yeah, it's just, it's crazy to think, it's just, I'm actually curious, how did you find out about that?
Ross, I wasn't I wish I could remember who told me. I mean, we had seen you fight at Art of War cage fighting, and I forget who was saying something that's what they heard. That's why I wanted to ask you firsthand, you know what I mean? Because I was, like I said, I was familiar with it. My son, he had an IEP in school, so I was familiar with Asperger's syndrome. I had read about it a little bit before, so I know, kind of what you went through, what you were dealing with because of that, because my son had, similar challenges as you have.
Oh yeah, just and I still go through challenges even today, but I don't think it limits me or defines me or anything like that. I feel like I'm like everybody else. We all go through challenges. We all have a different story to tell.
Absolutely. And listen, and I love your story. And let's talk about your story, Ross. Listen, how did you get here? What made you, to decide to get involved in mixed martial arts and want to fight? How do tell me just a little bit how you got to this position. I mean, when did you fall in love with mixed martial arts? Was it a person? And tell me a little bit about your journey to get to this point where you're at in your career.
Well, growing up, I tried practically everything there was, activity-wise, sport-wise, and the main thing that really stuck to me was actual wrestling. And I did all through college, and then that's when I first got exposed to what UFC was. And the first fight I think I watched was Rampage against Dan Henderson, and I thought, okay, this is cool right here, And then after a while, I started watching more of the events, and then I remember my friends, my teammates would sometimes be like, oh, I bet I could do this, I could do that. And I'm thinking, dude, you have enough trouble winning a wrestling match. Not to be mean, but, But of course, after a while, you think, well, if I actually did this, what would I do? And then wrestling was done. School was done. I kind of thought, okay, I'm done being an athlete. And then a year after school, I came across Gracie, New Jersey. And then I fell in love with jiu-jitsu. And then I started doing that a lot. And then I met Mickey Gall. And then Mickey was like, I think you could actually be an MMA fighter, and a good one too. And I was kind of I don't know. And then that was around the time he started doing what he's doing. And then after a while, I was doing a lot of the grappling tournaments, and I started competing and training with Mickey a lot. And then after a while, I said, you know what? I'm not getting any younger. And then at 27, I finally said, okay, I'm going to do it. I don't want to be like that guy who you see at Buffalo Wild Wings, And he's always like, oh yeah, this guy doing that. And like, and you could tell like he deep down, he's like, man, I wish I did this. And I was just like, I don't want to be that guy. So I went all in. And 27, I had my first fight, and I'm still doing it today.
Well, Russ, listen, you're not only doing it today, but like I said, I mean, 2-0, 2 finishes. I mean, you're an exciting fighter. It's no secret. I mean, I talked to one of your coaches from Diamond Striking, Justin Burke, and he, and we talked about your game. And listen, it's no secret. I mean, you get your hands on people, and you beat them up, you take them down, and nobody's been able to really stop you yet. Talk to me about this David Meshkaradze. Listen, you just fought at Ring of Combat 78 before the end of the year. You got your second win, took him down, and basically pummeled your opponent into a stoppage. Talk to me about this fight coming up March 3rd. How do you see it? Do you think it's going to be the same result? Are you going to take this guy down and beat him up? What are we going to see?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely beat this guy up, and like I'm not gonna try to sound cocky or nothing, but like I prepare for everything, because you never know how a fight can go. Like, but I also I work as hard as I can. I try to like stay as positive as I can. I try to do everything as best and right as possibly as I can, because anything can happen. This is the fight game, and like. I always anticipate, like this guy knows who I am, and he's got a plan for me too. But I believe, like with people like Justin, David, excuse me a second, and Mickey, and like the way we train and the way we like focus and everything like that, and everything's gonna go our way. And like to me, like it doesn't matter how I do it. I don't care if it's a submission or if it's a TKO. I believe I will find a way, because that's what I do. I go out there and I look for the finish.
Excellent. Can't wait, man. I'm excited. Once again, I'm with the Korbulizer, Russ Korbul, and Ring of Combat 79. Russ, give some shout outs to, your coaches, your training partners, your school, any sponsors, anybody you want to give some love to. We know what a lonely sport it can be in the cage, but most of the support you get is to get into that cage. So give out some shout outs.
I'll definitely give some shout outs. Of course, I got to give shout outs to Grayson, New Jersey, and David Adib, and Justin Burke, Diamond Striking, and also the NPR guys who've been cool to me too. FOTN management has been doing a good job representing me. Bucked Up is my energy drink sponsor, because we all know I love my energy drinks. My friends, my family, my coworkers, and like the people I train with, like especially at different gyms and stuff too. Like everybody, man. Like your support means the world to me. I'm nothing without you guys. I'm really not.
Well, Russ, listen. Thank you for doing what you do and working hard and bringing an exciting style to the cage. I can't wait to see a fight. Like I said, you don't, like I said, you fight for finishes, and you got 2 so far. Looking forward to your 3rd fight, and always a pleasure talking to you. I will see you at the weigh-ins at the Tropicana, and then again for the fights Friday night, March 3rd. The Korbulizer, Russ Korbul. Pleasure, my man.
That's me, man. See you then. We're gonna Korbulize.